It's been a while since we reviewed something good on this channel. I'm not gonna lie, after Tron, I was getting worried that maybe I was the problem. Maybe I was being too harsh with my reviews, which is why I am so happy that I'm gonna get to review something that I know will be good. I'm gonna get to review Season 2 of Gen... Okay, jokes aside, yes, Season 2 of Peacemaker isn't another James Gunn masterpiece, but it's not horrible. Like, there's levels to how bad TV shows can be, and this isn't this isn't that bad. There are still some good characters. I still laughed at some of the jokes. And one subpar season of Peacemaker does not mean the DCU is in trouble. The main problem with that first season of Peacemaker that people complained about was that it felt like a knockoff of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't mind this because I always looked at the first season as James Gunn's way of transitioning from Marvel to DC. I always felt like he was just getting his feet wet, and this Guardian style isn't going to be in every project he does. And I mean, I was mostly right. There were elements of it in Superman, but it felt different enough that I didn't mind it. But I also thought we weren't going to get another season of Peacemaker. That first season was kind of closed-ended. The bad guys were defeated and all our heroes were happy. However, Season 2 starts with us learning that even though the gang saved the world, life actually sucks. Peacemaker is now under 24/7 surveillance from Amanda Waller's replacement, Rick Flag Sr., who's mad that Peacemaker killed his son for America. Adebayo and Harcourt can't get a job, and Vigilante and Economos are fine. Yeah, they haven't really changed at all. This season kind of feels like a happy ending for the gang, and the season ends with them running their own business together. But this doesn't work because the conflict that brought them apart happened this season. They were happy at the end of the last season, and we really focus on only two main characters, that being Peacemaker and Harcourt, and because of that, I think they're the best characters here. And yeah, I know it's just Star-Lord and Gamora again, but I don't know. Just because it's not original doesn't mean it's bad. I really liked how much this season threw at them. Peacemaker specifically is just getting destroyed, and I don't really blame him for wanting to stay in that alternate universe. That's another thing I thought was done really well. Showing us this alternate universe where everything is supposedly great really helps emphasize how shitty the gang's lives are. Every time we saw Peacemaker happy in a clean mansion in the alternate universe, we would cut back to another character in a dark, grimy location in the main universe. I also really liked Vigilante this season. He's pretty much the same from what he was in season 1, but man, every time he's on screen I smile. However, the rest of the characters didn't really get as much screen time. Adebayo's main conflict is that she's not getting along with her girlfriend. But at the start of the show, the conflict is resolved. In the first episode, they say they're breaking up. We don't really see her for the rest of the show until the final episode where they break up. Again, all she does outside of this is be positive towards the gang and kind of state the obvious. Along with being no one's favorite character, Economos is the same too. He had his moments in season 1, but he really doesn't do much. And I got tired of his shtick real quick. We also have a couple new characters like Agent Flurry, who is so confusing. He starts the show insulting Economos and hunting down Eagly, making you assume he's a bad guy. Then he just starts insulting everyone because he's meant to be the funny character, and for the rest of the show he's played off as that funny character. But then in the final 2 episodes, he acts serious and sympathetic. We also have this girl, who I forgot was in the show. And last, but certainly not least, we have Rick Flag Sr., the most confusing character in the whole show. So shortly after the events of Superman, Rick Flag Sr. got Amanda Waller's job and found out that Peacemaker killed his son, and he wants revenge. So he puts Peacemaker under surveillance and finds out about Peacemaker's multiverse door. So then he teams up with Lex and his goons to contraband the door so he can build a jail in another universe for metahumans, and also put Peacemaker in normal jail. But then he just ends up kidnapping him and throwing him in super jail. There are so many things wrong with that plan. First off, in Superman, Flag not only disagreed with Lex, he saw what Lex did to Metropolis. Why would he ever team up with Lex and hire Lex's criminal goons? Flag's excuse is that there are so many metahumans that have been breaking out of jail off screen, which, by the way, would have been nice to see some of those supposed metahuman breakouts. The only metahumans we have seen in the DCU so far are either good or work for Lex. Flag says multiple times that he's doing all this to avoid another Metropolis catastrophe. So why team up with the guy who caused that catastrophe? Also, after going through with his plan, why kidnap Peacemaker? Why spend so much time doing all the surveillance on Peacemaker, trying to get dirt on him so you can use his multiverse door legally, if you're just gonna use it illegally and kidnap Peacemaker? But you know what? Whatever. It worked, because the show ends with Flag throwing Peacemaker in super jail. Another thing with this season is this is probably the first James Gunn project where I didn't feel like any of the main characters was gonna die. You can show me Economos tied up, stabbed and bleeding, but when Economos starts yapping about how much he doesn't want to be there for the 100th time, I know they're not gonna kill him. You can even show me a fake out death for Eagly, but I know Eagly isn't gonna die to some random hunter dude. He's gonna be fine. Also, James, what were you smoking when you did that Eagly subplot? And how can I get some? Either way, I still like some of the characters, and I hope Peacemaker is in more stuff. But this season was very heavy on that Guardians humor, and when most of your characters aren't doing much, or stupid, that humor can get really old really quick. Does this mean that the DCU is in trouble? No. Even back in its golden days, the MCU had some misses. One season of a TV show isn't gonna derail everything. 6 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, then why not like and subscribe? It helps support the channel and it means you don't miss any new content. Thanks for watching.